I get it. When you're looking at a home golf simulator, you're standing at a crossroads. On one side you have the dream of swinging year-round without leaving the house, and on the other a pile of equipment that might end up gathering dust because it just doesn't fit your space or your practice routine. You don't want to throw money at something that looks slick on the page but ends up being a headache to set up, or worse, a half-finished project that you keep postponing. If you're that cautious buyer, the question is simple: does this DIY golf simulator enclosure actually deliver on the promise of a functional, reliable indoor practice area without turning your garage into a circus? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about what the kit actually includes. What makes this package stand out is that it's marketed as a complete home golf simulator kit. The enclosure comes with the impact screen, the surrounding frame, and protective padding, everything you need to create a safe hitting zone. The biggest missing piece is the poles. You'll have to source those yourself, which is a key point to flag early. If you already have a set of sturdy metal or PVC poles lying around, you'll be able to finish the setup in a single afternoon. If not, you'll need to add that cost and time to your budget, and that can be a deal breaker for folks who expected an all-in-one solution. Now, who should consider buying this? The sweet spot is clearly the golfer who already owns a launch monitor or a suitable simulation software and just needs a safe environment to swing. Think of a mid-handicap player who wants to work on swing mechanics, ball flight, or just keep the muscles loose during winter months. Because the enclosure dimensions about 10 feet wide, 8 feet high, and a little over 5 feet deep, fit comfortably into most 3-car garages or a dedicated spare room. If you have the floor space and a ceiling height of at least 8 feet, you'll be able to set the net up without worrying about hitting the ceiling when you take a full swing. The protective padding is a thoughtful touch for families with kids or pets, reducing the chance of a stray ball causing damage. On the flip side, this kit isn't for the casual golfer who only hits a few balls a month. If you're looking for a just-for-fun setup that you can fold away after a quick session, the need to source your own poles and the relatively large footprint make it less practical. Similarly, renters with strict lease terms or homeowners with limited ceiling clearance should skip this one. The enclosure is designed to stay in place. You're not going to pop it out and store it in a closet after each use. Let's dig into the practical strengths that actually matter when you start using the enclosure. The biggest win is the SIGPRO Premium Impact Screen. In the world of indoor golf, the screen is where the rubber meets the road, literally. A high-quality screen means you get a clear visual of ball flight when you pair it with a camera-based launch monitor, and it also absorbs the impact without tearing. Users have reported that the screen feels sturdy enough to handle drives up to 150 miles per hour without sagging, which is reassuring for anyone who still has a decent swing speed. In real-world use, that translates to a more realistic training session. You can see ball trajectory, spin, and distance data on your laptop or TV, and you won't be constantly retentioning the net after every drive. The protective padding around the frame is another practical element that goes beyond the headline spec list. It's made from a dense foam that cushions the frame against accidental contact from clubs or balls, and it also reduces the ping you sometimes hear when a shot hits the net. In a shared household, that quieter operation can be a lifesaver, especially if you have roommates or children who might be studying or sleeping nearby. The padding is also removable, so if you ever need to store the enclosure or clean the screen, you can detach it without hassle. Now, let's talk about the hidden trade-offs. Because the poles are not included, the overall cost can be a little deceptive. Most reviewers who actually set up the kit end up buying metal pipe sections that run around $30–50 each, depending on the material and length you need. That adds both price and a small assembly learning curve. If you're handy with a drill and have a basic understanding of how to secure a frame, the poles aren't a huge obstacle. But if you're not comfortable with basic carpentry, you might find yourself spending an extra weekend figuring out how to anchor the poles safely, especially if you're mounting them into a concrete garage floor. Another practical weakness is the lack of built-in lighting. A well-lit environment is crucial for any launch monitor that relies on high-speed cameras to track the ball. In a typical garage, You'll likely need to add your own LED strips or a